Hi, I'm Jabir Nabila, and I was the marathon runner. And my goal was to test my endurance and do what I could to get all the way to the summit, and it did not work out so well.
My name is Noah Adkin. I was the physician. My goal on this trip was to study altitude sickness, and I'd say it worked out pretty well for me.
My name's Aaliyah Friedman. I was the environmentalist, and my mission for this was to kind of clean up the mountain a little bit, clean up the mess. I'm a good hiker from Italy, so it's pretty pumped.
My name is Hannah Glick, and I was the observer, and my goal was to watch everyone have good teamwork and support each other throughout the simulation.
My name is Cassidy Condon, and my role was the leader, and my job was to make it to the summit and make sure all of my team makes it to the summit, which we didn't, but I think overall we worked together really good as a team.
My name is Tessa Powell, and I was a photographer, and I just wanted to take some pictures of the Khumbu Falls, and I made it to the Khumbu Falls, and but the rest of my goals were not quite achieved. I wanted to stay a couple days at Camp 1 and 2, but as you guys remember, none of us really read the directions beforehand, and that kind of gave us a problem right off the bat.
At the beginning, we didn't even really start at the base camp. Well, we should have clicked base camp, but we all clicked Camp 1, and then something happened. We don't know who clicked what, but I was on Camp 3, and 5 seconds later I was in critical condition about to die. So we were kind of confused at first, but then we read the instructions, and then we were like, oh. So I feel like that kind of reading it kind of helped us advance a little bit, and we should have started with that.
I think initially, overall, we had a lack of communication for sure, and that we definitely could have worked that out a lot sooner. But overall, once we got to Camp 3 and we realized that we really kind of messed up the last base camp, Camp 1, Camp 2, and we're like, we really have to get it together. And then I think we all really came together, but we also took responsibility for our individual tasks.
And also, like, at first I feel like we were all just kind of freaking out because we didn't know what was even going on. Like, we watched the how-to video, but that's still, like, we weren't...
It didn't give us everything,
we needed, and so, like, when I was in critical condition, like, Noah couldn't help me because
we weren't on the same level.
I don't know how we got on different levels, but I think that, like...
The thing is, we needed you. We needed you to almost die. We needed I definitely learned from that.
We would have lost some weight. That's what we needed to lose some baggage.
And then I think
I learned my lesson.
I think that it was also stressful that then when we tried to get to your camp to help you, we tried to like go back down and you can't go anywhere, and we were trying to get you up and you're not moving up and we're moving down a level. So I think that
we definitely had to communicate. Literally, all of a sudden we were on Camp 2, and we were like, oh gosh, we're failing. I had already messed up all my goals. I was literally like, oh crap, like I literally just missed everything. So we really were like, oh god, and that's when we were all like, seriously, let's communicate. Like, we thought we could do it without like really trying.
Well, I thought when we started, I was like, we're screwed. Every other one, like I felt like in my mind, I was like, everyone else is gonna make it to the top of the mountain, but then I like talked to people in other classes and they're like, yeah, same thing happened to us. Like, I feel like this game was set up for failure to get us communicating as a team.
When we all got to that point, like, it was a great eye-opener and like brought our group closer together, because I thought honestly we were like already gonna be out, like me and you were already like getting in bad condition. I was like, yeah, we're done. Yeah, we're gonna lose in like the next round.
And then we were also like on the group chat. I mean, it's kind of funny too, because we were like kind of saying funny stuff on the group chat. Like, G was like, save me! And then we were like, no.
Your wife's cheating on you, you have nothing to live for anymore. Like, it's okay if you die.
Alright. Like, that was hard. That one was mean.
No, and I think it's just funny too, like, if you just like keep communicating, how much more comfortable you become with your group. And then I think that making decisions actually during the simulation improved after like our first couple failed rounds, because we actually had to like
figure out what we were gonna do.
Right.
Yeah.
Also, like deciding with like the oxygen, like who to give what. I know you were you getting oxygen sickness?
Yeah, I got frostbite really bad. So then we didn't know which of your tools to give me and G.
That got frustrating.
Yeah, so then we were like, oh god, so what are we gonna do? So we were on like, what was it, Camp 3 or Camp 4? We were there for like 25 minutes just like figuring out what we were gonna do. And you were like, no, it was finally like, okay, this round you're getting the pump thing. What was it called?
Oxygen?
No, not the oxygen.
No, the blood.
The
blood pressure.
Yeah.
So we were like, okay, hopefully this works. And then the next
I
round.
administered her the blood pressure pump. And it worked.
It did. My frostbite was much better.
No, the physician.
Yeah.
Also, remember we had, where we really messed up, we thought we had a whole nother day.
And we didn't.
And we didn't.
Oh, yeah.
So I think that was like our biggest issue, really, because I think we actually would have been able to finish it without being rescued if we didn't realize.
I mean, no one got
That's
rescued,
true.
though.
But we
No
didn't
one
summon
died
it.
either.
No one died, but we
No one
didn't
summoned
make
it,
it
and no one.
We could have if we didn't like.
We spread completely even. Nobody got rescued, nobody died, but nobody summited.
Right.
I didn't get to advance past
Yeah,
camp
exactly.
4.
As the
How many
leader,
times
you
did
made the
you
camp
climb
5 at
Everest?
the end. Or wait,
It's the
no, camp 4,
experience.
Yeah, that was stressful too, especially like as the leader, because obviously you want your whole team to like summit together.
Right.
That was your goal.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
I mean, obviously not even just like your goal, but if you're like with a team and like you're playing like pretty much a video game,
We want to
you
win.
want your whole team to come with you
I
and
mean, I
win.
want to do it all at once. That's why we were like, day 5 out of 6. Obviously, we have a buffer day. We shouldn't go in like all 5 of us when we had one more person waiting, or 4 of us and we had one more person waiting. So like, let's all make it together. Didn't work out so well, but
No, we thought we were on day 5 of 6, and so our environmentalist was still in the camp below us. We were like, okay, Aaliyah, you're gonna collect to go to the next camp. We're gonna use our one buffer day that we haven't used yet, and all stay together, and then we'll all summon on day 6 of 6. So we were like, okay, we're ready. Like you, the leader, you were like, okay, we're clicking the button. We all have our oxygen tank, all of our health is back up, thanks to the physician, and then it was over. It was like, oh, congratulations, you got 43%, and we were like, what? No. We had it like all worked out. We thought we had an extra day, and we didn't, and it was so frustrating. But like from that, we all, benefit that came from that was we all talked about that. Like we all made that decision together. We all thought we had an extra day, and although we were kicking ourselves because we didn't, we still made a decision as a whole.
The thing is,
we tried to do the best thing that we
We
thought
gotta
was.
go in. We just gotta go in too late.
yeah.
Exactly, and I
We
feel like
figured it
that
out too late.
that like totally relates back to the 5 dysfunctions too, because a common problem is like lack of accountability. But I think that we all were actually really accountable, and we like all took accountability for everything that happened as a team.
Right. But it took a little while for us to actually get that accountability, was our problem. I mean, we
I mean, I definitely feel like
Undoubtedly.
at the beginning we were definitely lacking, like with communication, and like I know, like we just started, we didn't know what to expect, we didn't know what was going on, like we didn't really know each other, so I feel like we were all just kind of flustered. But as it went through, we calmed down, kind of like chilled, and then it like started to get better. But it was too late. But also, I think that it relates because there's also a lot of things that we can't help. So like altitude sickness, like losing oxygen, getting sick, people dying, and I feel like that's why we did that project, was because it was a good example, like relating to 5 dysfunctions, that sometimes there's factors you can't even control, like someone dying, having a heart attack, for instance.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And we also from having such of a team, we realized like although all 6 of us, like other than the observer, we all had things that we needed to accomplish. And in 5 dysfunctions of the team, all of them had different things that they wanted to get done. Like
Right.
the marketing girl, she needed to get her marketing things done, and they didn't need to work together. So it was like if I had just needed to take my pictures of Kumbu Falls and stay at Camp 2, like I didn't need to summit. That wasn't one of my goals.
But you did it for us.
Yeah, so we tried to, yeah, we tried to. But like, so we had to learn how to like make all of our goals, although we had different goals, how to make them happen like fluidly.
Yeah.
And I think we grew from that.
Right.
And I feel like that's like the constitutive like kind of communication too, because like all of a sudden we realize that we're not like just like sending or receiving like messages that don't mean anything, but this is actually like a gigantic like simulation, and we're gonna die if we don't get together.
Pressure's on. We need to all be talking all the time, like figuring out every step of the way.
I thought it was good when you were helping out with all the like medical issues, because that was like a huge like improvement during the simulation. Like all of us, all our health improved. At I think it was like Camp 3 or something. We all got the oxygen, and I was just watching, and everyone was just doing so well.
So while you were observing, what would you say was like our greatest strength and our greatest weakness?
Well, the weakness was just in the beginning. We like jumped into it, and
Sorry, no weakness.
and then at the end, you guys all came together. Well, we all did, and it just turned out to be so much better than the beginning.
Yeah. Did you have fun studying your altitude sickness on me?
It was great, dude.
Oh,
It's
yeah?
got everything I needed.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
Oh, because I was so happy with that.
I think overall though
No, but thank you.
that
You're my test subject.
the point of the
You
project
did great.
really came through in the end, because it really got us to work together as a team and realize that like the world doesn't revolve around you.
Yeah, and we learned a lot, like especially what was that thing that we learned a lot from it, like the information design notes, or the team one that we read about. And it was like how when people need
building teams. Yeah, the new science being building teams.
Yeah, like I truly learned that like we need to talk to each other in like an encouraging way, because when we first died immediately, we were like, who pressed these buttons? Like, what?
We were kind of like pointing fingers, like almost we were like just like upset because we didn't know what had happened. So
yeah,
we were like, it was your fault.
And we were that our own goals hadn't been accomplished. I mean, we were on Camp 2, and I was a little like, oh my gosh, whatever just happened, I just lost. Like, I lost. I was thinking about me, and then I realized, like, okay, although my photography can still happen, but my goals aren't going to be met. Like, I'm screwed on that part, but we learned how to talk to each other about all that, and we did it after that first initial shock. Like, we talked respectfully after that. Yeah. And I think that was really important. We learned a lot from that, and then we also had to use a lot of our technology, because like it was crucial for us to have our computers in our first round. Remember when we tried to get together and nobody's course packs, well, 2 people's course packs weren't working. And that was really
but I think we had originally planned to do the simulation like 4 days before, and we all show up. One of the things isn't working, and like it was just like a whole dilemma. So that's another thing with teamwork, kind of. It's like it's kind of hard for everyone because we all have such a busy life outside of like the classroom.
So much diversity. And, like,
yeah, definitely. So it's kind of hard for all of us to like find a time to meet. And when we finally did, it kind of like didn't work as we thought. So we had to meet again, but I mean it wasn't.
I think overall, meeting before it was like super beneficial because we actually like mapped out our agenda and we got everything like prepared for what we were gonna do. And we sent out like a group email with like times we were gonna meet. And I think overall that it was like good that we met too, because then we got like to be more comfortable with each other as well. And like just like blocking out that time of the day, it's like being accountable.
Definitely not a waste of time.
I think it was also kind of a cool experience because, like, I mean, I'm sure we've all worked in, like, group assignments and stuff, but I felt like this time I was, like, observing us working in a group. Right. And I never realized, like, wow, there's a lot of factors that tie into it, like meeting up, everyone having their stuff, everyone, like, we all had to put the same amount of effort in. Factor. Yeah, definitely, and, like, it's, like, more interesting than I thought it would be. I thought we were all just going to meet up and we were just going to be done with it, but, like, you have to like work out a lot, like not work out, but like you have to work it out a lot, so like everything works out, and like you all have to like work together. Like you can't like think about yourself here, you know.
I thought it took some working out. We climbed Mount Everest, or tried to, so I thought.
I think a lot of that too. Like overall, like our group has such like a good attitude, and I felt like we worked together so well that it could have been worse.
Yeah, I feel like we all played our roles pretty well too. Like when we learned like our week 6 lecture, it talked about how we each have like individual roles. Yeah. And you know, like I had to do the weather forecast, and Noah had to like make careful decisions on who needed what most. And like each of us had like a specific role that we tried to do our best to make happen, so our entire group worked out well. And I think that's what got us like to the 4th camp or whatever.
Yeah. How did you feel as like a leader? Like, I feel like you helped a lot, but like, cause like, remember at first you had clicked a button and then we all like, something happened and we freaked out, and then you're like, you learned like, okay, I'm gonna wait till everyone
figures everything out.
I feel like, yeah, that was like our lack of communication too, and just like, as soon as we got that together.
No one could knew what to expect though, you know?
I think that really, overall, if we could have done anything differently, that we should have read the directions and spent more time in that department before we actually started the simulation. But other than that, I really thought that we performed really wonderful.
I think that we grew as a team throughout this experience.
We did achieve 43% of our goals too, so that's not terrible.
No. A little less than half, but I think that like I completely just blanked on what I was gonna say. But I think, okay, I forgot.
I think I understand what you're trying to say, that we just all really came together and that it's just like was a really great experience to work as a team.
It was, like that's not BS. Like we actually learned how to communicate together.
Well, I also thought the simulation was going to be a lot. I thought it was like an actual game kind of.
Same.
Like I thought I was going to ask us like maybe question. I don't know. I was not expecting that where you just like move camps. And I feel like at first like.
Yeah, it sounds simple.
Yeah, it seemed like a lot simple, but I feel like there wasn't really it's like. Basically impossible to get 100%, and I think that like overall we did good.
Yeah, we did. We're not failures. That's the bottom line. We failed the simulation, but we didn't actually fail
as a group.
We came together, so I'm proud of everybody here.
Yeah, good job, guys.
Good job, guys.
Yeah.